Now we'll take a closer look at space and our relationship to it. Let's consider some first-level descriptions of space. Here's one. Objects exist, but physical space is nothing, non-existence. So, in our ordinary experience, space is nothing. It's empty, more like an absence of things. Here's another statement about space. Space is significant for us only insofar as it is available to be occupied by objects. Space seems to have no value in itself. It's only valuable in being able to accommodate or hold objects. We're very material-oriented. Here's a third description. In our ordinary space, making room has become making a room. Lower space is like a walled enclosure. Again, the space that we know is just the absence of things, bounded by something material like a wall or a fence. Space is confined and contrasted by things. Okay, having looked at these common conceptions of space, let's do an exercise to explore it directly and see what happens. During this exercise, you can sit or lie down, whatever you prefer. As you sit or lie in a relaxed position, directing your awareness off into the distance, breathe in the open space before you. Let the breath be very relaxed. Draw in relaxed breaths through both nose and mouth so that this space gradually pervades every level of physical organization. The breath merges with the major organs of the body. And with the various layers of tissue throughout the body. With the blood and lymph. And it even merges with the ligaments and bones. When you exhale, consider that your breath is merging with the sky. Becoming indistinguishable from the sky. As well as every cell of your body, let the space which is entering you pervade your thoughts, feelings, perceptions, judgments, and memories. Allow all defining boundaries and partitions to be permeable to this rich and vital space. Be sensitive to a positive, healthy energy flowing through your consciousness, reflecting the clarity of space. Just relax and let everything be open and light. See if, in conjunction with your breathing, the space above, before, behind, and to each side of you can enter every part of your body and thoughts. Give it some time to open completely. When you exhale, allow this space to return to the outer space through every pore of your body. There is a complete commingling. No effort is necessary. Let the pervasion by space be so complete that it includes your locatedness, your subtle sense of position in regard to both the surrounding space and the world, and to your locating past and anticipated future. Everything is pervaded by space. Surrender all positions, including the here that you occupy, as well as the surrounding spatiotemporal environment that contains you and your aspirations. This is not a matter of negating or ignoring anything. Simply notice these subtle structuring factors and allow the liberating quality of space to grace them with its touch. Okay, So what happened during the exercise? Did you feel or experience any deeper kind of space? Not just a kind of emptiness? Did you feel your body or your sense of self open up? Become more transparent or permeable? Did anything happen to your usual sense of being located? Now we can take a look at some statements depicting experience at second level. The more you open things up, the more you experience yourself as space, which has no place, no position. Does this describe what happened during the exercise? How about the following statement? The lower space we live in is not a solid and continuous place. It changes, becoming more or less open with each single thought. Sustained practice of this and similar exercises can be expected to lead to the following experiences: an increase in personal freedom, less psychological pressure, greater physical relaxation, a heightening of the senses, and even parapsychological capacities. But the relaxation of felt restrictions is still subject to a subtle, self-centered or standard world order interpretation. So at this second level of experience, there will still remain a more subtle sense of self and the world as a kind of background of the self's experience. These entities still seem to be here, yet are more nebulous, less definite. However, as we move into third level, even these usual entities disappear, as described in the quote on the next slide. In a deeper space, we completely transcend a self-centered orientation and become fully with everyone and everything else. Locations and attitudes, problems and confusions no longer bind us. Everything becomes pervaded by space. The great space dimension reveals an all-inclusive unity that, rather paradoxically, is not spread out over any region. While all familiar things are separate and distributed over ordinary space, delineated partly by differences in position, they are all intimately connected insofar as their great space dimension is considered. distance between becomes meaningless. In addition, there seems no need for anything else. There is a wealth of wellness, a hidden wholeness. Pervaded by space, all things and events are sufficient, not lacking in any way. Rather than being nothing, space seems essential to well-being. Here's another exercise done very often in TSK workshops. This one works with mind and thinking. It can be done in a normal sitting position. As you observe your thoughts passing, watch very sensitively for the moment when one thought fades and another arises. This transition is very quick and subtle, but involves the momentary availability of a space which you can contact and even expand. So again, watch very sensitively for the moment when one thought fades and another arises. Watch for the moment when one thought fades and another arises. This space has a quality of openness, free from the usual discursive and discriminative thinking. Over and over, watch for the moment when one thought fades and another arises. What happened during the exercise? Did you feel or experience any kind of space with or between the thoughts? Or did thinking go on as usual, with mind being preoccupied with meaning of the thoughts? With mind being preoccupied with meaning of the thoughts? Was the sense of meaning of the thinking different somehow? Although we won't actually do this third exercise at this point, we'll take a look at the instructions. It works with our sense of distance between things, not with physical distance, which is only a simple measurement in terms of length, inches, feet, miles, and so on. This exercise works directly with our feeling of distance. The instructions suggest looking at a single object apart from you. we contact a normal feeling of distance between ourselves and the object. And then, as we continue observing, we see whether that sense of distance changes in any way. Continuing with the instructions, we see the background query used while observing. Does this felt separation sometimes disappear? Instead of separating things placed within it, does space sometimes seem to connect things?